Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Tavua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Matanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Tisa. Loving listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, flash flooding in Raki Raki and Tavua. Prime Minister chastises opposition leader. An MP Biman Prasad told to retract statement.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Flash flooding occurred in Raki Raki and Tavua today as heavy rain pelted the west of the country, with torrential rain associated with Tropical Depression 09F. Streams and rivers broke their banks, closing off access to places like Raki Raki town. Ellen Stolz reports.
A familiar scene. People out in the rain making the necessary preparations for the bad weather. It's just after 1 p.m. here in Raki Raki town, and behind me the scene that meets us as we reach the town. People still wading through flooded waters to cross over to the other side. We spoke to some of these people to hear what they had to say.
I just take all the people to helping cross that side and come this side.
Others were still shopping in Raki Raki town and were caught unaware of the rising water levels at Nangoro Flats.
We just came in the morning just to do some shopping for the family, and the time we reached here, we saw the flooded area, so we don't have any option. We just have to cross the flooded area.
Malakai Tamani faced floodwaters today to visit his wife and child who were involved in an accident and are admitted at the Raki Raki hospital.
I
just went to visit them today and take them some food, and now I'm on my way back home. Even if the rain persists tomorrow, I will still find a way to cross over and see them.
The forecast for the next few days is more rain, and members of the public are being advised to take extra precautions and stay safe during this time. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Ellen is live now from Nandi. Ellen, what's the latest from the Weather Office?
Jackie, we can confirm as of a few minutes ago that Nandi town is indeed actually underwater. And this from the Nandi Weather Office just minutes ago, that a flood warning is still in place for low-lying areas adjacent to Raki Raki town and also downstream of Raki Raki station and Vatua Levu station. Now, a flood alert is also have been issued to areas down the Nandi River as well, and Nandi town, adjacent, low-lying areas adjacent to Nandi town. And Emuri station, we also can confirm that this issue also is for Semo River as well. A flood alert is also in force for low-lying areas and small adjacent streams of Wainimbuka River, downstream of Nayavu station, Tonge station, as well as downstream of the Mba River. Now, Jackie, this also applies to all major rivers across Fiji.
Thanks so much for that, Ellen. Heavy rain over the weekend has resulted in flooding in a few parts of Lambasa. The road at the Nangingi Nag Mandir has been underwater from late yesterday, and residents blame it on poor drainage upkeep. Eleanor Tarangai View reports.
This was the scene outside the Nangingi Mandir at around 8 last night. Some private vehicles have been waiting to cross the road since 4 p.m.
We have been here, stuck here since 4 a.m. and it's been flooded ever since. There were other drivers here with their vehicles, but they have gone back. Unfortunately for us, we can't go back because we came a long way.
Today, the water level has risen some more, following heavy rain from early this morning. Hundreds of people were left stranded, some not going to work, and children not attending school.
Yeah, my house is also affected. I want from the government that as soon as possible the cleanage of the drain should be done, because I myself, I am a school teacher and so many workers are affected due to this blockage.
This has been the situation here for 3 days now. They waiting at either ends of the flooded portion of
the road, most of them returning home to come back later, while some of them are using an alternative route, the tram line just beside the road.
We came here around 8 a.m. and it started to really rain heavily. Some passengers have tried to find their own means of transport, but we are still stuck here because of the water level.
Residents here say the flooding is caused by the blocked drainage, adding the 2 culverts in front of the temple that are taking the water out to the river are too small and need to be changed. Eleanor Turangeview, FBC News.
In a ministerial statement to Parliament, the Prime Minister has revealed that a bill for COP23 funding will be tabled this week along with an announcement of key appointments. Fiji will take centre stage at the November climate change meeting in Germany. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Preparations for the global climate meeting is in full swing, with the PM putting in the legislative framework.
The chief negotiator for COP23 will be Ambassador Nazar Shamim Khan, our permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva. She is a standout candidate to lead these very complex and challenging negotiations.
Bainimarama says they want to ensure there's comprehensive representation.
We intend to hold a climate champions meeting in Suva and bring Pacific leaders, the NGOs, civil societies and representatives of the private sector together.
From across the floor, Opposition MP William Ngavoka says there is a need for insurance to make the non-negotiable list.
FSC used to self-insure. They used to carry their own insurance. But just before Winston, they took up a policy in London. And right after that, Winston hits, and FSC got $37 million.
Shadow Finance Minister Professor Biman Prasad wanted more clarity.
I haven't seen or I haven't heard the Prime Minister mention anything as to how they're going to coordinate between these different ministries.
Other key appointments in the COP23 team include Deo Sarin, the current ambassador to Belgium and the EU, as well as climate champion Inia Serurasu. The PM stressing that the global climate meeting and its successful outcome will determine just how prepared we are in the fight against climate change. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has chastised opposition leader Rotemu Mokepa for not attending any Constitutional Officers Commission meetings over the last 19 months. He was responding to an oral question in Parliament about an update on the Commission's business. Rotemu says she hasn't attended any meetings because the composition of the Commission is uneven.
Madam Speaker, it is most disappointing to note that the leader of the opposition has failed to attend any meeting of the Commission since May 2015, and as such has failed to contribute to the deliberations of the Commission and to perform the important duties of the Commission as mandated by the Constitution.
There are no democracy in that Commission. In the numbers that they have according to the Constitution, there are 4 members from government and there are 2 members from the opposition.
A heated exchange broke out between Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum and opposition MP Biman Prasad in Parliament this morning. Prasad claims the government's abusing funds meant for the Help for Homes initiative. Amid loud calls from the government side for Prasad to prove his allegations, the opposition was asking to withdraw his statement. Rachel Nath reports.
Because you promised to supply the material and you don't. That is what you should do. That is what you should do.
Opposition MP Professor Biman Prasad claims the government's rehabilitation program after TC Winston has been haphazard.
We end up having abuse of funds. We end up not targeting the people that the policy is intended to do. You yourself have admitted.
Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum gave an update on TC Winston rehabilitation, after which the NFP leader rose and started making accusations.
Madam Speaker, Fiji First supporters who are benefiting from this scheme.
Madam Speaker, despite the challenge in current phase 1 of the Health for Homes initiative, we have a high level of recipients that have received the full delivery of their supplies.
They have not been able to provide the material on time and you are charging them interest. That is abuse of fund. That is abuse of fund. You've proven yourself.
Prasad was then asked to withdraw the statement.
Honorable Biman Prasad, I need you to withdraw the words abuse of funds, the currency abuse of funds. withdraw those words.
Well, if you are saying that, Madam Speaker, I withdraw.
Thank you.
Said Kiyum told Parliament the government allocated $207.9 million in the current budget for rehabilitation works. Rachel.
Still ahead, no request for special cane payment in 2017. And NFA looks at improving fire safety awareness.
मेरा नाम कमल रोशनी है। हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवराबा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The refurbishment of the new Navua Hospital kitchen is not disrupting the services. This was confirmed by Minister for Health and Medical Services Rosie Akbar while responding to a question in Parliament today. Sainiani Boiler reports.
Work is still in progress on the new Navua Hospital kitchen, and Minister responsible Rosie Akbar says meals are being prepared elsewhere.
The catering services are still being done from the old Navua Hospital, and work in progress is, we are progressing with works because this project was funded by the aid program under the Chinese government, and we are working with the Chinese government and contractors to see how best we can progress with this.
Akbar also responded to opposition MP Saloti Randondo's question on the OHS compliance in this new hospital.
Security and safety measures are in place to ensure that the meals transported from the old Navua Hospital kitchen is in compliance with the standard OHS regulations in Fiji.
The ministry is currently working with the Office of the Prime Minister, Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport and Construction and Implementation Unit of the Ministry of Economy with the Chinese government and the construction company to see how we can progress with that.
Parliament was informed there is no time frame to complete the refurbishment of the hospital, which was opened in 2014. The government is adamant service given to the people of Navua will not be affected. Sainiani Mboila, ABC News.
1,077 cases of child abuse were reported last year. Minister for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation, Meriseni Vuniwanga, highlighted this in Parliament, saying most of the victims were abused by close family members or relatives.
In 2012, there were 313 reported cases. In 2016, it's 1,077 reported cases. Out of these 1,077, there's 1,293 cases of sexual abuse, followed by neglect, 897, and physical abuse, 552.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says special cane payments are not mandated in the Sugar Master Awards. Opposition Member of Parliament Prem Singh questioned why Bainimarama didn't authorize the Fiji Sugar Corporation to give a special cane payment before the start of the new school year. The Prime Minister was also asked to explain why he authorized special cane payment in 2016 if it's not in the Sugar Masters Award.
Last year a request was made. Never was the request made this year.
Remedial work has been completed at the Kasavu landslip to enable the Kings Road to reopen for heavy vehicles. Minister for Infrastructure Parveen Kumar told Parliament that once the geotechnical investigations are complete, short-term and long-term opinions will be developed. However, he says repairs of the Kasavu slip will not be a short-term fix.
There is an alternate bypass route and which is open to the general public. It has a number of limitations, but is the only viable route.
The National Fire Authority recorded 19 fires so far this year. NFA Chairman Francis Keane says 17 of the 19 were home fires, while 2 were commercial fires. The majority were caused by electrical faults and children playing with matches. Following the release of the statistics, Tower Insurance today provided a $30,000 sponsorship for the NFA's Radio Fire Safety Awareness campaign.
It's an alarming increase
And again, we take this opportunity to thank Tau Insurance for coming on board to partner with the National Fire Authority in taking about to the various citizens in the country and the communities on being fire conscious.
Time now for Rachel to tell us what's happening in the world of business.
Good evening. Coming up in business tonight, talks to improve foreign investment policy. And later on in Growing Fiji, FDB on board with TC Winston Recovery.
Looking forward to hearing all about it. And later on in sports with Jamie, Chiefs management to be in Fiji this week to review plans for Super Rugby match.
Hola, we from Latoka. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is Kanto. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Mula Fiji, my name is Florence Ratu. I'm from call number 1 in Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits every day and all day.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm from the soccer crazy town of Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade is working with World Bank to develop the foreign investment policy. Minister Fayaz Koya says this will provide an overall directive on investment-related activities and amend the current Foreign Investment Act. Here's the full report. Talks with the World Bank came to light as opposition MP Aseri Randrondro asked whether foreign and local partnership policies for investment have been changed. Minister Koya says a holistic review of foreign investment policies will develop a vibrant, dynamic and internationally competitive economy.
In terms of investments, the government will only encourage high value, high capital, high technology and high employment generating foreign investments, especially in the areas which locals do not have the capacity or know-how.
Questions then turned towards the protection of Itauke leases and payments to landowners. While Koya insisted the foreign investment policy is a separate matter, he did stress that landowners' rights are intact.
In relation to tourist leases on native land, which is allowed, I suppose, to be owned wholly by foreign owners, how is the native owners of resources protected in that investment?
We do this in line with the Constitution. Everything that is in black and white and in this blue book, Madam Speaker, is followed to the letter of the law.
Koya says the policy framework for investment is an important policy tool that will enable Fiji to realize its full economic potential, keeping in mind the protection of the national interest. U.S. employment figures were released last Friday with shocking results. Here's Elizabeth from HFC Bank with the update.
Yes, shocking indeed. The non-farm payroll for the month of January increased to 227,000 from an expected 175,000. That's the largest gain in 4 months. The unemployment rate for the same period rose to 4.8% from 4.7%. Federal Reserve officials will be keeping a close watch on the job numbers and have forecast 3 rate hikes if conditions permit. Looking at our economic calendar for this week, the Reserve Banks of Australia and New Zealand will be announcing their policy rates. Australia is projected to remain at 1.5% due to their housing dilemma. New Zealand is also expected to maintain their policy rate at 1.75%.
Today's exchange rates, the Chinese yuan was down by 37 points, closing in at $3.27. The American dollar rose slightly by 3 points to close at 47 cents. Onto our regional currency, the Australian dollar and PNG Kina rose, closing at 61 cents and $1.33 respectively, while the New Zealand dollar dropped, closing at 64 cents. With the commodities market, oil rose by 19 points to close at $53.91, while gold dropped, closing at $1,221, and silver rose to close at $17.50. Fiji Development Bank says $4 million provided to clients for Tropical Cyclone Winston recovery was not a loss to the bank. Outgoing Chief Executive David Thongnivalu says as a major financer of agricultural products, stepping forward immediately to provide assistance. He says the FDB is strongly committed to developing the agriculture sector. In 2016, agriculture-related loans formed the largest part of the bank's loan portfolio, amounting to 72.7 million. Thongnivalu adds the bank will also be introducing policies designed for organic farming. That's it from the business world tonight. Jamie joins us now with sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up in sports, depleting number of female sprinters a concern for Athletics Fiji. And in our play of the day, watch the Patriots complete the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. This and more after the break.
Well, what TV Tarokuta, my Honokula and Rasa Lutoka, the Talita and Avarro on a radio Fijuan.
Bulan Arango Fina, my Corviri Nandi, of the Talitaka Navarro and a radio Fijuan, na Procaramu, Masmasu, and a Mataklai.
Oya Ochone Kurinambila, my Vunangoru, Namakete Hinga Tokakwe, the Talitakina Navarro on a radio Fijuan, Kenya and Domoiviti.
Na radio Fijuan, and Domoiviti in Vonga and BNN.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team had a tough outing in Sydney, finishing 5th at the tournament yesterday. After being bundled out in the cup quarters by New Zealand, they found the going tough against USA in the 5th place playoff, but were eventual winners 35-12. Vasnil Prasad reports.
Fiji, Greg Martin, they want their fans to leave on a happy note.
Not as expected, the World Series champions ended up playing USA for 5th place in Sydney. Fiji started the match strongly and Nemani Nangusa scored the first try.
Nangusa! Big Nemani Nangusa, who's been a powerhouse today. Madison Hughes.
USA got the equalizer, but Fiji came back firing for their second try through Nangusa.
Nangusa!
A United States try at the Huta narrowed the score to 14-12 at the halftime break. In the second spell, Samisoni Viriviri got the try for the side.
Well, he'll chase him, but he's not got enough time.
Nathanieli Lambalamba grabbed his second try to extend the lead. And the game was sealed when Chasa Veremalua scored the final try for the Fijians.
Veremalua, he's been outstanding this weekend for Fiji.
We're happy to come out with a win. We know USA is a good side and they have a lot of good players. But we told ourselves that we needed to win to get some serious points back with us.
Fans here also have mixed reactions.
It was okay. I think they should just change their coach.
I think they're good, but most of them, they're like new.
I think they did their best. They give their utmost best.
Compared to last year, Fiji had a title in bag after 4 tournaments, but they have yet to find the winning ways this season. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, South Africa claimed its third tournament on the 7th series when it beat England 29-14 in Sydney last night. This was South Africa's first title in 8 years on Australian soil and a timely farewell for speedster Sabalo Senatla and forward Quagga Smith.
Snyman on the angle run and the captain is in. Knocked down there by Norton and it's advantage and now Senatla. Sabalo Senatla says see you later. And there's an overlap here as well, but they won't need it because Justin Henold throws a dummy. They're still hot on the attack and over it goes to Justin Henold and he has got a double. Senatla beats the final tackle. Senatla flings one over the top and they are in again. Your champions, the HSBC Sydney Sevens 2017, South Africa.
Yeah, I think it's incredible, not just for me but for Quagga as well. That's been giving so much to the system. The system has brought us up. We like little children. Me, Quagga, Justin, Werner, we all were brought up in the system. It's quite nice to see it like this off.
The Fiji Sevens side has slipped to third place on the Sevens World Series standings. The national side is on 64 points, right behind England, who are on 68. Meanwhile, South Africa, which has won 3 titles in 4 tournaments this season, sits firmly in the number 1 spot with 85 points. New Zealand is 4th, followed by Scotland and Australia. Meanwhile, in the upcoming Las Vegas tournament, the Fiji has been drawn in Pool D with Australia, Japan and Scotland. Australia leads the pool after finishing 4th in Sydney. Series leaders South Africa head Pool A with Wales, France and Canada. England leads Pool B alongside hosts USA, Samoa and an invitational team, while New Zealand is grouped with Argentina, Russia and Kenya in Pool C. The Las Vegas tournament will be held from the 3rd to the 5th of March. Meanwhile, Fiji Sevens playmaker Jerry Tuwai has been named in the Sydney Sevens Dream Team, which is dominated by South African players. Heavy rain in the north over the weekend failed to stop the Lautoka football team from beating Lambasa at the start of the 2017 Vodafone Premier League season. The Blues' second match, however, was called off due to unplayable ground conditions. Elna Turangavu reports.
The Lautoka soccer team started its season on a high with a 2-0 win over Lambasa at Subrail Park. Ndabe Randringai scored the first goal in the 13th minute of play, while the second goal was scored by Samuel Ndrundro in the 69th minute.
I think our team played according to the game plan and we trained for it. We knew we are coming here in Lambasa and the crowd support will be for Lambasa. And Lambasa is also a good side, no doubt about it.
Lambasa, on the other hand, failed to impress, having missed several opportunities at goal. Coach Ronil Ram says there were a lot of mistakes which Lautoka capitalized on.
Players need to get serious about the things that they need to do in the field, and we lacked a lot of concentration in few areas, and I believe that's why we considered 2 goals, and I think so it's a wake-up call for Lambasa.
Lautoka's other game yesterday against Draketi was called off later in the afternoon due to unplayable ground conditions. Fiji Football Association says the 2 teams will meet again at a later date. Eleanor Turangaview, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Vodafone Premier League defending champions Ba had to come from behind to beat Suva 2-1 in their competition opener yesterday. Here are the goals from the match.
Looking for the through pass, stopped in the way by Thomas Udilo, Kaliavatuvuli. Setereki Hughes with another switch, a good one it is too, finds Ravenous Curran. Curran with a good chance there, and Ravenous Curran against the run of play in the 5th minute of play has put Suva up by 1-0. Ravenous Swami looks at his run, and a deep one it is too, finds Nambinia. Nambinia from the broadcast, Saula Wanga with a flick cheeky in, and a good combination between the 2 former under-20 players. And in the 28th minute, a back heel by Saula Wanga, and that has equalized it for the Ba side. Madwan Gounder intercepting, hustling away. Avinash Swami comes in to give some more power, then finds Saula Wanga. Wanga with a chance now, and Saula Wanga sneaks it in. An early goal, 21 seconds. An early goal to the Ba side. He sneaked in before Tevita Koroi could get to it, and in 21 seconds, Saula Wanga becomes the top goal scorer.
Athletics Fiji believes there needs to be more focus on women for the upcoming Oceania Athletics Championship. General Secretary Nemani Tukunia says they need mature sprinters in their 20s to carry the women's sprint team since they've lost many experienced runners. Tukunia says they're now working on developing young women to fill the void.
We did analysis on our performance, not only performance for individual athletes during the Melanesian Games, but also our logistics side. So there's areas that need improvement, though we had a successful Melanesian Games. But we are looking forward to much better preparation when we come Oceania Games.
The Chiefs management team arrives this week for further talks with the Fiji Sports Council to iron out details for the clash against the Crusaders on May 19th at the NZ Stadium in Suva.
Of course, the team came in November last year. You met Kathy and Vanessa from the Chiefs management team, so everything's going along well. We're preparing for the May 19th, and we've got the team on the ground already doing all the groundwork that needs to happen before the game.
That's it from sports this evening. Up ahead, weather with Angie, and in our new media segment, new reports on the explosive design of the Galaxy Note 7. There's some more coming up.
Vinaka, I'm Anare Sorbakro of Neabu Wendibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
And we join Angie now with the latest in weather.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. A heavy rain warning is in effect for Fiji after a wet start to the week with some flash flooding. Let's see what it was like in the west. Many areas including Reykjavik and Nadi experienced severe rain and flooding in town and in surrounding areas. Moving eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, conditions were slightly milder with occasional light rain. Temperatures were at 31. And up north, there were periods of rain and a few thunderstorms with temperatures at 29 degrees. Looking at tomorrow, there will be heavy rain, brisk winds and scattered thunderstorms for the entire country. Remember, there is heavy rain warning in effect, so take care, especially in low-lying and flood-prone areas. Temperatures will be cooler during rainy periods. Suva and Lambasa are expected to drop to 24 overnight and hit a high of 29 tomorrow. Looking ahead to Wednesday, the bad weather shows no sign of leaving as forecasts suggest rain and cloudy periods will continue. At sea, northwest winds 20 to 30 knots, rough to very rough seas. For our mariners, the next low tide is at 8:54 p.m. with high tide tomorrow morning at 3:04. And that's FBC weather for tonight, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked the people, what do you think should be done to eradicate sexual abuse against children?
We need to empower the children. They need to come out to speak.
Take their religious practices seriously and follow Bible principles.
More penalty should be put on the accused.
It's time for the parents to supervise children more.
Parents can always be with their young ones.
Recapping the main stories, heavy rain causes flash flooding in Reykjavik and Tavua. Government to allocate funding for COP23 in Germany. And opposition leader Rote Mumukepa chastised for ignoring Constitutional Office Commission meetings. For these stories and others, you can tune into our sister radio station, Gold FM. Results from last week's poll question, we had asked, is the Education Ministry correct in banning junk food from schools? 78% replied yes. This week we are asking, with 19 fires so far this year, are Fijians taking fire safety seriously? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day is a sunset time-lapse. Sunset is a wonderful opportunity for us to appreciate all the great things the sun gives us. This was taken at Doi Village in Onoilau by Johnny Tumuse. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us by Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, from the team and I, good night.
We from Lautoka, we love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is Kanto. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Mula Fiji, my name is Florence Ratu. I'm from Corner Number 1 in Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits every day and all day.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm from the soccer crazy town of Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.